What's wrong, Mom?
The police are pulling us over.
Are you arrested?
No, babe, no. The police just want to talk to me real quick.
The opening is clearly meant to elicit an extreme response, and it does just that. The opening quote is also very popular. It puts us right where we need to be in our thoughts about this. I thought I would teach my child about the world, but I had to teach the world about my child. The radio gives exposition and lets us know immediately what we're dealing with in this story, and lets us know that the child in the backseat is likely autistic. You feel the immediate tension that the mother feels when she gets pulled over. And it really plays and focuses on the way that officers treat people as less than in these scenarios. This is already a tense situation, and adding on the added layer of her daughter with autism is just another dynamic of tension in this piece. And this was such a tragic story. But the worst part for me is just seeing the lack of humanity that the cop feels um, after shooting this child, and it's triggering because it's we see it happening all the time, and it's always this lack of humanity after the shooting has happened. His concern is finding a reason to justify his actions. That's what his concern is. Not that this girl is bleeding on the pavement and maybe he knows some sort of tactics that could save her life. Not that her mother is in handcuffs, unable to comfort her child in the last moments of her life. He's concerned about what his paperwork's going to say. Where's the gun? Was it in there? So I can look like I did the right thing. So I can say I fear for my life. And it just shows how this is like someone that's just not looking at people as people.
Extremely difficult piece, but a necessary one. You see in the news these altercations happening far too often, and hopefully, a piece like this, because it was so emotionally charged and made you endure it with these very likable characters, hopefully, it'll make people change their inherent biases or be more aware of the many different ways that people traverse the world. I thought it was so impactful because their performances were just grounded with rich emotion. They dug into some very difficult material with an authenticity and a bravery. Um, and I thought there was a great building of the pacing and an escalation of intensity until the tension couldn't hold any longer, and that moment was hit even harder. But props to the team and the actors for really devastatingly good performances.
We were given this big moment of foreshadowing at the beginning of this film when we are getting a news reporting of a 6-year-old with autism being murdered at the hands of the police force. So we get a little bit of time with the characters in the car before they're pulled over, and it's enough time to really build this intensity that is slowly, inevitably going to have this exploding moment. And as we are given this information, we notice that there is an imbalance. There are more challenges at hand, whether it be autism or potentially this daughter may be partially deaf as well. You, as the audience, are putting these pieces together as we are building and learning more about the story at hand. And we sort of know the inevitable outcome of the storyline, and it is really unfortunate for us to witness. And as we witness it, it is bone chilling. It gives you goosebumps. I was crying during the scene where we are having this montage of the buildup of the light that exists within this character. And she's very innocent here, and you see this innocence like being lost as the, life escapes her, and it's really heartbreaking. It is a very well done piece. It makes you feel and get lost in this moment for sure.
It's heartbroken to see how Black lives are still in danger and people can be missed, uh, believed by just their outward appearances or just external behaviors without seeing deep inside. And I feel like this one has a very good sense of drama. It's well dramatized and it could show how the characters involve into the world, into the situation, and make us understand like why the drama between the characters is important for us to see in this short. Apart from that, the performance are so good. I believe they have been trained, they have been rehearsed for a while, but I feel like it helps to make the message, the theme of nonviolence much stronger through them.
They open this with a deeply impactful quote. It is 100% infuriating, showcasing of abuse of authority and out of context hidden fear towards children. A very innocent looking situation escalates ridiculously out of ignorance, lack of empathy, and a false, misguided sense of beauty. It is an amazing set of scenery, script, performances. They all did great. I had a great time. It was very appalling to watch. Amazing.
And this film is a good way to put advocacy out for disabled children. But because clearly mom was trying to parent her and she just wasn't listening. And I imagine it's even tougher when they're a teenager who already don't want to listen, combined with a disability. It's something that is struggling because she also had told the cop that she had a gun and he sees a kid smiling, reaching her hand into a bag. It's a tough situation, and this film really nailed that tough situation from kind of both sides. Saying, what do you do? It's really, really tough to decide. But you could tell in this case, it was a mom who was actually actively trying to parent her child. She just did not listen. I will give casting that it seems like they actually got a child that was developmentally disabled and perhaps even deaf. It really seemed like that. Maybe not. If so, it was a phenomenal acting job on the child's behalf. But this is one of those things that this film that could bring awareness to the situation, because parents such as this mom probably do need a little help and a little patience, especially when they're already at their wits' end.
I was blown away by the performances of the three cast members. I love the relationship between the mother and her daughter. Very believable banter between the two of them, and the actor playing the cop was also excellent. Very realistic writing as the tensions escalate. The swirling dramatic soundtrack is appropriate as the tragic story unfolds. Good idea to list the info near the end regarding disabilities.